Well guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Now it has been some time since I put a video together, so I thought today's the day. It's bright blue skies. Now we have been busy over the last few weeks. I've been busy with my own photography, trying different skills, techniques. Now that's what I want to be able to show you in today's video. I'm going to go through some of those images that I've taken to give you ideas for your own photography. There's lots of images to show you, so stick around. I've been working on workshops for the summer season. It'd be great to meet up with people. I've been meeting lots of people while I've been out over the last few weeks. Now I've actually got business cards now, so what I've been doing is I've actually been handing those business cards out for people that I've photographed in the streets, images that I think work really well, and offering them to the people as a download. Now that gets us on to the next subject of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be offering some of my street photography images for download. Now printing's, it's really expensive in Canada to send prints overseas, so what I've decided to do is if anyone likes my images, you can get in touch, email us, let us know which image you like, and I'll send you that image via the file, and then you can print it at will. So that's some of the things that I've been up to. Now today I want to take you around the streets. We're going to see if we can capture some images, but it's going to be about the images I've took previously. I want to be able to talk you through my reasoning and the images that I've captured and give you some good ideas and techniques along the way. It's a bit overcast at the moment, but that is supposed to burn off. And I wanted to bring you to a location where I photographed an image a couple of weeks ago. The weather was wet, it was raining, but I was still out with the camera and still enjoying myself, trying to create different images and come up with fresh ideas. Now the area that you can see in front of us is some lovely bright yellow on the tarmac, the sign, the do not enter sign. And what I noticed while I was here, there was actually a puddle, and as people were walking by they were reflecting into that puddle. So because of the yellow, I wanted a subject that was yellow. Now it took about 30 or 40 minutes to actually get the shot, but a subject came along. She had a yellow umbrella, and because of the height of the umbrella, it really stood out in the reflection. I got down low with the 35mm and captured the image. Now at the same time I was here, I was attracted to another sign which said watch out for pedestrians. And because this is the beginning of a parking lot and you've got the sidewalk in front, a lot of subjects are walking past that sign. So the idea I had was to do a long exposure handheld. Now we always find that 1/4 of a second's a good shutter speed for capturing interesting subjects moving through shots in the street, and you want to blur them out slightly. But on that particular day I didn't have a variable ND filter with us, and even at f16, though it was cloudy, I still couldn't get the shutter speed that I wanted without really blowing the highlights out. So what I've done today is I've actually brought the variable ND with us. It's something that I often bring along just to help on these bright sunny days, and you can get a bit more creative with your photography. So I want to capture that motion, and the sign itself and everything beyond that sign is going to be pretty much sharp. You're going to have the sign, you're going to have the building behind. Now because I photograph a lot of subjects on the street, I always want to try different things. Now we've got pigeons in the city, a lot of cities have them, and it's a good way to show the city off because pigeons are a part of city life. They live amongst us, and they're great subjects to photograph. Now, if you incorporate buildings in the background, look up above, try different angles, you can get creative, get movement, get motion as the pigeons are moving around still subjects. So I'm going to be able to show you some of those images now as we make our way to the next location. Now we've got a sidewalk that comes up from the station down below, and it's always busy. You've got all the people coming out the station, you've got tourists coming from the cruise ships. There's a lot of cruise ships coming in now, and I've always envisioned an image. You've got these signs which obey the signal signs where the crossing starts, and I love the way that you've got the separation in the signs, and as people move round those signs it makes for an interesting image. Now when it's overcast there's no light in there, there's no contrast, but because of that bright sunshine, when it shines down onto the sidewalk, it really brings out that contrast that I'm looking for, and I think it'll make for an interesting image. I've just been speaking to one of my subscribers there. I always bump into people that follow us, and it's a pleasure to do so. Now I actually had one of my subscribers, Sharon, get in touch with us a few weeks ago. It was a rainy day, I wasn't really contemplating going out, and she said there was an event on in downtown in Pink Alley where people were showing the work. So what I done was I went along, and it was great. It was just nice to see other people's images, and I also got to meet a few more of my subscribers while I was down there. And I said to you, I wasn't contemplating going out, but I'm glad I did. I captured an image that I was really pleased with. I've been to this area where you've got these stripes on the ground many times before, but because of that rain it added contrast, just like down below, down by the bridge, so that's why I want to mention it. I was really happy with the image. The girl came along with the umbrella, she had a similar top that matched the pavement below, and I was really happy with that image. Now a few weeks ago I captured this image of a girl. She had a huge blue balloon, so she was interesting, and what I wanted to do is I actually wanted to get in front of the girl and have it so the balloon hid her face. So that added mystery, it added interest to the image, and just so happens that a guy sat behind her also wearing blue, so there was a connection there between the balloon and the guy sitting on the wall. So they're things to look for. You had another guy, same day, he had a megaphone, a great character, such a funny character. He was singing through his megaphone, he was talking to everyone that was walking past. So I got up alongside him and captured an image, waited for the moment when he was smiling, when he was happy, and it really does tell a story. And then I got a bit further back so I could incorporate more into the image where the guy was just sitting amongst the people that he was speaking out to. I want to hang around this location for a bit. It's a great location, trying different images, looking for interesting subjects coming towards you. And this is where Sony A7 R V with that swivel screen really helps us out a lot, because I can get low to the ground and still see what I'm doing, still see the composition that I'm going for. So I'm going to be able to sit behind this bin looking for subjects stepping out onto the crossing there, and then I'll simply capture an image as the subjects cross. You're going to have the buildings in the background, some of the sky. I'm going to get really low down and use that perspective to grab a totally different image to what you would normally capture. You see a lot of people capturing images at head height. Always try and vary your angles and where you take your photograph from. But the good thing about this area, people can't see us taking the image. And then I'm simply going to move to the front of the crossing, waiting for subjects walking towards us. I'm going to shoot these shots at a wider aperture, probably around about 1.4, really to discard some of the detail, to get rid of some of that busyness and make that subject pop. I've got the two lions on the entrance of the art gallery here, and they make for interesting subjects to incorporate into your image, especially when you've got those lights and those shadows. Singling out subjects is quite easy in this area because you don't get that many people walking. Because it's so big, there's plenty of separation there, and separation in these type of images that I want to photograph is really important. It's all about the subject and the structure in the background. I came here a while back and I got an image I was really happy with, and it was just a good example of showing you how to work with light. And that's what the next lot of images are going to be. It's going to be working with light and how important light is. Now, when I came on this particular evening, the art gallery was in shade, but you had this lovely side light as the sun was setting coming across what I would call like a courtyard. I noticed these photographers photographing bridesmaids and the bride on the steps, but they were actually in the shade, and all I could think was all the good light was actually in the centre as that sun was setting. I decided to dial in my settings and wait for an interesting subject to come along, and it just so happens that as I turned round, a man of the cloth walked through the image, perfect for this type of setting. Now, not every image that you take tells a story to the viewer, but it might be a moment that tells a story to you, something that's happened. Now, I've just passed through an alleyway there that I was there a couple of weeks ago. So on this particular day, there was all this water coming out the building, and I couldn't understand why. It was amazing. It was just filling the alleyway with water. And I thought, you know what, I want to capture some images, try and get subjects in the alleyway to go along with the dramatic scene that was going on. Now, the thing that happened was there was actually a crime committed within the building itself. The water pipe was burst, so that was the reason why all this water was coming out. And the girl that came out into the alleyway was the one that actually burst the water pipe. So that's what I'm saying, it means something to me. It's something that happened that I'll remember. So having a story behind your image doesn't always come across to the viewer, but it comes across to you. I've said to you about reactive photography in the past. Always have your camera with you. I was in my local bar, I was in Smith's, I was having a pint of Guinness. I had my camera with us, and then I heard this noise. So I went outside to explore, and one of the garbage bins was actually on fire. So these are the last set of images I'm going to get to show you. I actually photographed the Vancouver Fire Department putting out this garbage bin that was on fire. But because it was late in the evening, we had this smoke, we had some lovely light coming down the alleyway, something different. Now I am available for one-to-one workshops here in downtown Vancouver, so if you're visiting or you live here, get in touch and I can't wait to take it out. I'm also available for photo walks as well. That's something else that I'm wanting to do, where I'll take a maximum of 3 people out at a time. Now I said to you earlier in my video about sharing my work, you know, I'd love to get it printed and be able to send people it. There's lots of people interested in prints, but I just simply can't cover the cost. So that's why I've came up with the idea of sending out the files if people like a particular image. They can get it printed at will. So if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget, as always, give it a thumbs up. It's been great being back out talking to the camera again, wandering the streets and taking you along with us. Hope you've enjoyed all the images and hope you've came away with something, some tips, some ideas. Don't forget, take a variable ND, drag that shutter speed out, get creative. Now I always end the day with a pint of Guinness, so I am going to go over to Smith's and get a nice cool refreshing Guinness. It has warmed up now, but it's been brilliant. So until next time, thanks again for watching. Bye bye.